Greetings and welcome to Step-by-Step Bankruptcy's free lesson on how to complete one of the required bankruptcy forms that are included in a bankruptcy petition. And we applaud you for taking the action on becoming debt-free. Congratulations. Let's get to it. We understand that legal forms can be confusing and mystifying. We think that attorneys do that on purpose to justify their fees, but that's another story. So we've decided to take the mystery out of bankruptcy for our clients. Our goal is to give you all the steps you need to receive a discharge at the end of your bankruptcy case without a lawyer. Now, I'm not here today to tell you to file bankruptcy, but we assume since you are here now that you have considered all of your options on becoming debt-free and that bankruptcy is your best option. Or maybe you're still wondering if you can do this on your own without a lawyer. With that in mind, that is what this free demo video will do. It gives you a roadmap to successfully completing your bankruptcy petition, starting with the voluntary petition, which is one of the 18 forms you will complete in the process. Also, in this tutorial, we'll discuss obtaining the required certificate of credit counseling, which will be attached to the voluntary petition as an exhibit. As I mentioned, our goal and sole purpose is to give you all the steps you need to receive a successful discharge at the end of your bankruptcy case without a lawyer and at low costs. In this lesson, we're going to demonstrate how each form is completed by a bankruptcy attorney. Our reasoning is that since we are not attorneys, we can't give you legal advice, and in some cases, telling you how to complete a form may be considered legal advice. So we have downloaded sample completed cases from all 50 states, knowing that if a bankruptcy attorney filed it, we know it's correct to use as a sample, and we aren't telling you how to complete the form, the sample is doing that for you. In this lesson, we're going to use an Arizona voluntary petition, but it makes no difference in what state you reside with regards to completing this form, as it's completed exactly the same for every state, as are most of the 18 forms, with one or two exceptions. So let's get started. After you've registered and confirmed your email, you're going to end up in the movie theater, which is way, way cool. Above the screen is a download link. I'll show you that in a second. You're going to click on that and download the sample forms to your desktop. I want you to open each form and get accustomed to what's in there, and then come back and start watching the tutorial. So I'm going to pause the video for a second and go to our movie theater. As you can see, there are plenty of bankruptcy basics, free videos, all about bankruptcy, as well as the first lesson in this tutorial. You'll click on that to watch the video that you're now watching or listening to. And here are the PDFs that you will download, which I'm going to demonstrate in a second. Okay, here is a blank official B1 voluntary petition. Note that all of these fields are fillable and savable. You can save the data entered into this form. So if you transpose a number, you can always come back and change it, make edits at any time without having to start completely over. It's a 3-page document, voluntary petition, and it's mostly self-explanatory with a couple of exhibits that I'll explain in just a moment that are attached to it, 2 exhibits if they apply to you. It also comes with complete instructions on each section, 16 pages, compiled by the bankruptcy court, giving you the bankruptcy codes. and it gives you step by step on how to do each. We also give you like I said, here is an Arizona attorney completed form. It's blackened out to protect the privacy of the debtor. But basically, here's an example of how an attorney completed this form. There are a few exceptions that where the attorney signed, where it won't happen on your particular petition. And that's a sample with an attached Exhibit D, the credit counseling statement, which is attached. And we have also a voluntary petition with comments. Now these little stickies will explain everything that needs to be explained about that particular section. For example, the first thing you'll do is decide which district you're going to file in. If you don't know where it is, we give you the link. If you have more than one district in your state, we give you a link to go to that, to a court locator to find out where you would file your bankruptcy, and then you would check that particular link and that would pop up. Today we're doing the Central District of California in this example. You start out with your name, last name, first name, middle name as it states, that of your spouse if filing together. If you have any other names used in the past 8 years, including doing business as, formerly doing business as, previous marriages or maiden names, they will go in this section. The next section is you will list the last 4 digits of your social, not the complete social, or the complete EIN number would go in here, or an ITIN number would go in here, but not the complete Social Security number. That will be completed on another form, and for your protection, that is not public record. This particular form is public record. The next section is a physical address, not a mailing address like a P.O. box. If you put a P.O. box in this section, it will be rejected by the court. You need a physical address in this section. If you receive mail at a P.O. box, it would go in this section. The rest of it is self-explanatory, so to speak. The type of debtor, you're an individual. Husband and wife are considered individuals. You're not a corporation. If you're a corporation, stop now. A corporation cannot represent itself. So you need to have an attorney represent you if you're a corporation. The nature of the business, if you're a business, which it's doubtful, normally you would skip that. The next section is the type of bankruptcy you're filing, either 7 or 13. That's entirely up to your choice. Skip this next section. You're not a Chapter 15 debtor. You're not a tax-exempt organization. Again, you'd be a corporation. The nature of your debts, either you're going to be all consumer debts, or if more than 50% are business debts, you would check this box. Sometimes people are liquidating a company and filing personally, and a lot of their debts are more than 50% business debts, so you would check that box. Filing fee attached. It's recommended that you pay the filing fee in full, although you can file it in installments. We're not going to go into the details of the installments in this particular tutorial. We go into that in more detail within the members area and give you all the forms to apply for a filing fee in installments. And if you're trying to waive your filing fee, it's almost impossible unless you're 150% above the poverty line. It's very, very doubtful you're going to get a fee waiver under the current bankruptcy laws. You'd skip the next section as you're not a Chapter 11 debtor. The next one is statistical information. Most often you're going to check the second box, which says you're not going to have any funds available for distribution to your unsecured creditors. as most of our clients have exemptions where no property is taken by the court. If you're a Chapter 13 debtor, then you would check probably the first box because there will be money going to unsecured creditors. The next item is the estimated number of your creditors. You can leave this section alone, these three boxes, until after you've completed your schedules. But if you know that you're going to have less than 49 creditors, you could check that box. If you know that you're going to have less than $500,000 in assets and less than $1 million or more than $1 million in liabilities, you can check these boxes, or you can always come back. That's page 1. This is page 2. This talks about any prior bankruptcies in the last 8 years, where they were filed, the case number, and the filing date. Also, if there are any cases filed by a spouse, partner, or affiliate, that's explained. Exhibit A, you would more than likely not be involved in the Securities and Exchange Commission, so that would be left alone. Exhibit B is if you have an attorney, the attorney would sign here and date it. Since you're using our forms, that's not going to happen here. You leave that blank. Exhibit C, you would check no unless you have some property, unidentifiable items on your property that could cause harm to public health and safety, chemicals, etc. Exhibit D, you would check the first box if you're filing by yourself and check the second box if you're filing with your spouse. This is required that you attach a credit counseling certificate to this petition, this voluntary petition paperwork, and you need to do the credit counseling before you file. Venue is where you live. You must be living in the area where you're going to file for 180 days, or they say a better part of 180 days, which is 91 days. If you haven't been living here for 91 days, you may want to complete the petition, and then after 91 days is passed, then you can print it out and sign it and file it. The rest of it's self-explanatory, but normally you would just check the first box. The next box deals with, and if you're a tenant that has been evicted or about to be evicted, or a judgment against you, you would check the first box. Again, for this tutorial, we don't go into much detail here. That's explained, and forms are offered in the members area when you get to this particular section, if it applies to you. Note that if there is a judgment against you prior to you filing bankruptcy, your bankruptcy will not stop the eviction. The third page is the signature page, basically, where you sign, your spouse signs, phone numbers are input and dated. You skip this box, you're not a foreign representative. Again, the signature of attorney is not required because you're not using one. The signature of the bankruptcy preparer, and we are not considered a bankruptcy petition preparer in that we did not prepare the paperwork for you. You did this yourself, so this section will be left blank. And again, you're not a corporation or a partnership, so this section would be left blank as well. Okay, that is it for the voluntary petition. We're going to talk a little bit about the credit counseling certificate. And before you can file bankruptcy, you must consult with a nonprofit credit counseling agency to see whether there is a feasible way for you to handle your debt outside of the bankruptcy code without adding any more money to what you already owe. To qualify for this bankruptcy relief, you must show that you received credit counseling from an approved agency within 180 days prior to filing bankruptcy. When you take this 90-minute class, it could last an hour, hour and a half, they will issue a certificate, and you attach it to this petition. Now, you can take this class online or over the phone. Most agencies are open late at night, 24/7. You contact the ones that you wish to use. Of course, we offer one for free. You can use our service. They're open late at night, but you'll get the link once you become a member to do that. So we recommend that you put the kids to bed, stop any distractions, get ready to make a toll-free phone call, and go through the process so you can take care of this credit counseling certificate. Also, you want to, if you're filing with your spouse, you both want to be on the telephone at the same time. Otherwise, if you take it separately, they double the fees. Now, when you come to after you get your certificate, you would check the first box because you received it within 180 days. In box number 2, it says that you took the course, but you do not have a certificate. That's going to be very, very unlikely because these agencies always send out a certificate that same date. And if not, you don't have one, call them. They'll do it either by fax or by email. Item number 3, you requested credit counseling, but were unable to obtain services during the 7 days from the time you made the request. This is not going to be accepted by the court because there are thousands of agencies around that will offer you this service. You have to just keep trying. Item 4 is that you're not required because you're mentally incapable or disabled or active duty. Very doubtful this is going to be checked. And then you would just sign it and date it. Each one of you, if you're filing with your spouse, will have to file a separate Exhibit D to be attached to the petition. Now, as I mentioned, when you go to the movie theater, where you'll download all of your items, and then once you have finished the voluntary petition, completing it, and obtained your credit counseling certificate, there is a qualification as to determine which chapter you're going to file. To determine before you complete the petition in that particular section, you may want to go to Do I Qualify on our homepage and take the 6 yes or no questions to see if you're eligible for Chapter 7. Most likely you are. Okay. We're just about, that's it. Thanks for watching. To become debt-free, you need to take action, and this was your first step. The next step is to determine which chapter, like I just mentioned, whether it's 7 or 13. Go to our homepage, click on that link. Once you're qualified for whatever chapter, you can now sign up to become one of our preferred members and start preparing your petition using our step-by-step guides, how-to videos, and attorney-prepared samples. Thanks for watching. We appreciate your action and your interest. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you.